Welcome to episode 49 of Just One More Topic. I am Tridrakious.
And because of contract disputes for the day, I am Jennifer.
Just to let everyone know, I hate contract negotiations.
That reminds me, I have something I need you to sign. Hang on. I can wait.
Son of a... Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, we have been talking about adding more business flair to the show. In fact, developing an entire show around discussing business. Well, to kind of start pushing towards that new show, this episode of Just One More Topic is going to talk about some business going on between Microsoft Game Studios and Epic Games and People Can Fly and Xbox One and Sony and Nintendo and Valve and all kinds of other stuff that we were able to talk about in the first take that we did of this episode.
So anyway, the big news, long story short, Microsoft is buying the Gears of War IP, or intellectual property, for those of you that don't know what that means.
Or just the dumbasses out there.
Now, Gears of War has been a you guys know it, you'll love it. It was the defining factor in cover-based third-person games, one of the greatest co-op games you could have played last generation, or indeed in any generation.
Yeah.
Driving storyline started to fall off a little bit. 3 didn't have quite the same hype that 2 did. And honestly, the story, while I get that endings are tough, and I hate endings in general, really was just kind of meh.
Yeah.
And
Dom did not have to die.
right, of all the situations where he could have, ridiculous, stupid.
The way that he died was just
Bullshit.
absolute. Yes. Bullshit.
Anyway, moving on. Now, the 4th game in the installment, Gears of War Judgment, was given over to developer.
People Can Fly.
You might know them as a little studio that crafted a game called...
Bulletstorm.
So clearly they know what the hell they're doing. The problem is this. Epic, bored of making Gears of War, said, okay, we've got plenty of other stuff we're doing. We need you guys to make this. Now, People Can Fly decided to try and arcadeify Gears of War. Did not work as they intended. Fantastic game, beautiful story. It's about Baird and Coltrane. It's awesome. But the gameplay, you feel rushed. You don't feel like you are actually slogging through this battlefield. You don't have that same sense of awe because you're constantly like, oh, I've got to meet this objective, or it's all arcadeified. And that's the standard game. That's not an option. That's just how the standard game is.
Yeah. And I while playing Gears of War Judgment, I definitely got the vibe that this was kind of focused on it could have easily been Bulletstorm 2.
Yeah, I'm sure they were making a game with this premise. I don't think it was Gears of War, but that's what they went with because Epic said, hey, here's this and money. Okay.
Microsoft wants us to make another Gears of War game. We obviously are a little too busy because of all the next-gen talk. We're making engines and shit. So, obviously, People Can Fly. You guys dealt with Shooter. You can do this now.
Well, and the big thing now, Epic is bored of Gears of War. They obviously are too bored to really put effort into it. I don't even know, bored, busy, whatever. It's kind of the same thing as Halo. And Microsoft immediately snatches up the IP because, well, as we discussed in our Game of the Year, they don't have good exclusives. They can't lose Gears of War, the name. Yeah. They can't lose Halo. They need to own that.
I'm sure if Epic was like, well, we would like to still make Gears of War games, but multi-platform, so that more than just Xbox can get it.
Yeah, Microsoft wasn't having that.
Yeah, it's very much like Halo. Bungie was just like, we don't want to develop Halo anymore. We want to do something brand new. We want to do something fresh.
And which is a 10-year contract with Activision for a first-person shooter sci-fi game.
Sounds familiar.
But damn it, I'm sick of Halo.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the best analogy for this, hang on, who's the team they're bringing on?
The team that they have kind of Frankenstein together is called Black Tusk Studios.
Whom you have not heard of, but have some very experienced members that have been a part of fantastic games like Uncharted.
Splinter Cell Conviction, kind of.
They've done a lot of work, and they've done some quality games. The biggest thing is this. The best analogy I can use is when Disney bought Star Wars. Yes, people were up in arms, but let's face it. Did you see the prequel trilogy? For God's sake, do you expect somebody else to butcher that series more than George Lucas? And we're kind of getting to the same point with Gears of War. No. We're kind of getting to the same point with Gears of War. What Microsoft is going to do is the same thing Disney is going to do with Star Wars. They're going to take the franchise, known and beloved, and they're going to put it in the hands of fans of the series that give a damn and care about what they put out, and then they're going to throw money at it until it becomes amazing.
And, you know, even though Judgment was not really the best, I mean, it was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was fun to play.
Yeah.
It was interesting to
Again,
play.
it was just too... I mean, when you've got missions where it's like, beat this in 2 minutes, it's kind of like... You're ruining the flow. I mean, those games are slower. They're not first-person shooters. You are supposed to take your time, experience the stage.
Yeah, like 3 didn't. It wasn't able to live up to the expectations because of what was before with Gears of War 2.
2. Oh my God.
Judgment. In all facets, you know, when looking at Gears of War 2, you can see Judgment as kind of a disappointment. However, Microsoft putting together a development studio, throwing money at it, saying, "Hey, we want an Xbox One exclusive, and we want it to be as the greatest Gears of War that you can make." They've got plenty enough time to kind of save
Come
the
up with
franchise.
something, and they've got people again. Black Tusk ain't doing much else right now. They care about it. They will make it a priority, and they will really. I mean, they're not going to try to shoehorn a game that they wanted to make and make it fit. They're going to make a Gears of War game. And it's probably going to be fantastic.
So, you know, kind of looking at it, Microsoft needs exclusives. They can't afford to lose something like Gears of War.
I mean, they still have Fable, but...
Yeah, Fable.
Oh, Lionhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, they just... That I like talking business, except now I don't know where to stop because it can just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft, they could... we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Gears of War. Black Tusk could actually do a worse job than what people can.
It's entirely plausible. Anything can happen, but I'm betting you that's not.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance that Microsoft isn't going to allow Gears of War. It is their number 2 biggest franchise.
So we'll see what happens. But hey, give us some questions. We got episode 50 coming up next week.
Yes, we do. I am Tridrakious.
Jennifer. I'll get the contract.